I've just passed 4.5 years without alcohol. But if you told me that back when I was drinking, I would have probably just laughed. Not because I didn't want to quit, but because I just didn't believe it was possible for me. And that's the strange thing. Most people don't stay stuck because they don't want to quit. They stay stuck because they don't believe they can. Today I want to talk about that disbelief, the real reason that so many people feel trapped in this kind of yes-no tug of war with alcohol. I used to look at people who were sober and think, well, good for them, but I could never do that. I felt like there was something special about them that I didn't have. Now, that belief is just a trap. It creates a cage where the bars are made from your own assumptions. If you believe you can't, you won't even try. And the irony is, almost everyone who's sober once believed that they couldn't do it either. See, the problem is most of us are asking this question: could I quit forever? Now, I spoke about that in my first video. When you ask yourself that, the feelings that come up are very illuminating. But sometimes that question is just a bit too big, too impossible, and the answer is usually no. So a different question that we can ask is, do I want to quit? And that's where the split normally shows up. There's one part of you that says, yes, I want to quit. I want to feel healthier, sharper, freer. And then there's another part of you that says, no, you're afraid of losing comfort, fun, connection. And that's where most people live, stuck in the middle of yes and no. Living in that middle ground is exhausting. You wake up regretting last night, but by evening you're convincing yourself it wasn't that bad. You tell yourself you're serious about quitting, and then you buy a bottle just in case. Now, that's not weakness, it's cognitive dissonance. There's two opposing truths being held in the same mind. And the tension of that state bleeds into everything: your mood, your energy, your self-esteem. So this is where the in the third person model comes in. Instead of being trapped inside that tug of war, step back and imagine three positions. The you that wants to quit, the you that wants to keep drinking, and the observer, the third person, who can see both sides very clearly. From that third person view, the conflict stops being like who you actually are. It becomes two parts of you that you can observe almost like they're characters in a play. And once you can see them separately, you're no longer lost in that noise. So if you feel stuck right now, think about this. It's not because you're weak. It's because you've been living inside a conflict without that perspective. The first step isn't forcing yourself to quit. It's stepping back far enough so you can see both of those voices clearly for what they really are. So here's a question to sit with. Which voice is louder in your head right now? The one that wants to quit or the one that doesn't? Maybe drop that in the comments. So now I want to take this a bit further, because the question is, how do you actually tip that balance? How do you move from being stuck in yes or no to becoming more clear and decisive? So here's a practical starting point. Get a pen and paper, write down two lists. Why you want to keep drinking, fear of missing out, stress relief, could be belonging, comfort, the reward at the end of the day. Then do another column, why you want to quit. Health, relationships, energy, freedom, a future that's bigger than alcohol. Put them side by side and then take a step back. From the third person perspective, you'll see something very clearly. The drink list is built on fear and avoidance. The quit list is built on growth and expansion. Now, the truth is, most people are not going to tip this balance with one big dramatic moment in their lives. they'll tip them with small, repeatable steps. Run an experiment. Don't commit. You don't have to quit forever. Maybe just try 30 days to start with. And then you can start stacking wins. Write down every benefit you notice. Better mornings, clearer skin, deeper sleep. Change your environment. Don't keep alcohol in the house. Change your routines around it. Now, you can also borrow belief. If you can't believe this in yourself yet, borrow it from people like me who once thought the same way that you do. Each of these little small steps is like placing a pebble on the quit side of the scale. With enough pebbles, it will tip. Once the balance does tip, something shifts. It stops being this kind of daily argument, and it will start being your a new normal, and momentum starts to take over. And when you look back, you'll realize the fear of quitting was far bigger than the reality of living alcohol free. That's what happened to me. The moment the scales tipped, disbelief that once held me back just disappeared. So if you're still stuck in the middle of this, you don't need to wait for a lightning bolt of motivation. Start adding the pebbles. Take these small steps. Start adding pebbles to the side of you that wants freedom. Do those lists. Try the experiment. Notice the small wins. Borrow belief until you've built your own. So let me leave you with this. What's one pebble that you could add today? Share it in the comments, because that step that you take might be the one someone else needs to hear about right now. So if you want to start learning ways to shift the balance back into your favour and live a better life, keep on watching in the third person. I'll see you next week.